There's a lot of things I learned from the wise guys. One of the big ones is it's better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
No doubt about it.
Love that one.
Yeah.
I learned that one the hard way a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I was fighting CM Punk in Cleveland. Excuse me. And LeBron James was a big guy in Cleveland. Always do that powder clap.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to go on the scale when I weighed in and do the powder clap like LeBron, but I asked first if it was okay.
Yeah.
And
Right? And they were like, no, someone could slip. But stupid reasons. You know what I mean? It was BS, but it would have went big. It would have been fun if I did it.
Huge.
I should have just done it. I should have put a little powder in my hands and done the little LeBron clap in Cleveland.
You could have said, I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
no,
of course.
sorry.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you would have did it already.
Exactly. Yeah, it would have been no problem.
No
It would have been
problem.
no problem whatsoever. But yeah,
No
I learned right there.
Absolutely.
I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Ask for,
It's always a problem when you ask.
of course.
People always have a problem when you
Sure.
ask. It's funny, people are strange. You know what? If we all could just, who said that? Rodney King, I think. If we could all just get along.
Can we all just get along?
Can we all get along a little bit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because life is, you think about your life, Mickey, my life. If my grandfather, Colosio, doesn't come here and decide to come to America, I'm not here.
Yeah, Stephen Michael Heron, my great-grandfather from County Galway.
I'm not here. I'm not here. Bronx Tale never happens. Everything is so delicate in life. Everything is so delicate. I have a friend of mine, my friend Mikey. Okay, my friend Mikey, I was 18 years old, okay? I'm 18 years old. I just got my license. My father just drove me back for passing my test. I got my license. He says, take the car. Go ahead. You can go. I was like, holy shit. I get in my car. I'm 18. I'm 17. I'm 18. I'm in the Bronx, right? My neighborhood. I'm driving. I see my friend Mikey on the corner. I go, yo, Mikey. He goes, hey, see, what's up? He goes, what are you doing? You're driving. I go, yeah, I just got my license. He goes, come on, let's go for a ride. I go, all right, come on. He gets in the car. We're driving. He goes, make a right. Let's go on Pelham Parkway. That's where all the Jewish girls were. We would drive up there, And I make a right. I'm going down, and there's this big light right on Southern Boulevard, right where the Bronx Zoo is. And I'm driving over there, and all of a sudden, I was so excited, I didn't see it turn red. And he screams in my ear, red light, red light. I went, oh, bird. I hit it. I went past the light, put it in reverse, and backed out. Right? I'm by the light now. I backed out. 3 girls are walking by. They got balloon. They're going to the zoo. She looks in the car and sees Mikey. He looks at her. They look at each other, and he goes, Mikey. She goes, Mikey, Mike Herrero. And he goes, I don't want to say her name because anyway. So he says her name, and she writes on he goes, oh my God, I'm not saying, who the fuck is that? She writes her name on her eye. She has an eyebrow pencil, and she writes it on a matchbook cover and throws it in the window as I'm pulling out. Okay? I have to tell you the story. I drive away. I go, who the fuck was that? He goes, oh, I was in school with her. I was in the 8th grade. I was in the 1st grade, kindergarten. I go, how the fuck how did you remember each other? He goes, I don't know. She saw me, and she recognized me. I recognize her. He calls her up. They get married.
Nah.
A few years go by. They get married. They have 3 kids. Okay? 3 kids. Finally, years went on. Then they got divorced. And he always tells me, that fucking red light, you gotta stop. And I think about it. It was that fucking red light. When he was going through the divorce, he's going, you and that fucking red light. I go, Mikey, it's 30 years later. What do you want from me? But
he yelled. He yelled red. He yelled red light.
Hey, it's on him.
It's on Mikey.
It's on
I
Mikey.
know, but think about it. If I don't get a license at that moment, if my father don't drop me off on that moment, if I don't see Mikey on that corner, if we don't make a right on
3 human beings don't exist.
If we don't make a right on that street, if she's not walking there, if the light's red, if the light's green, we go right by. Yeah. His life's different. Her life's different.
Yeah.
Those 3 human beings are not here. How the fuck is that possible?
That's crazy.
How is that possible?
Kismet.
I am stunned by that.
Huh.
Stunned by it. Think about it.
Unless Mikey's lying to you and he was stalking that girl the whole time, telling you to make
He
this right,
knew
make
what
that
it was,
left.
yeah.
Mikey
No.
wanted, yeah. Mikey's like, you know what I want to do this Friday?
Yeah.
What's that? I want to see Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just fascinating how. That's why I always tell people, the best advice I could ever give somebody. They always ask me, they say, "What's great advice, Chazz, about success?" And I would go, "Show up. Show up. Showing up is 85% part of being successful." Okay, let me give you an example. I called you up. I called you guys up. I said, "Hey, you said, Chazz, I got a friend, my friend Mickey Gall. We he goes, he's a UFC fighter." And I said, I said, you know what? I love UFC. Me and my son, we love it. And I saw you perform, and I said, wow, okay. I said, yeah, you know what? Yeah. You know what, Gerard, let's do it. Both of you. Now, he can go, you know what? It's far. I got to go there. I don't feel like going. But he goes. You go. And we become even more friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's what life is.
Yeah.
Show up.
Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we got to go. You came down to my gym with
Yeah.
Dante, your son.
Oh, my son, forget it. My son is.
Son's a talented kid, good-looking kid, too.
He's awesome.
My son loves you guys so much. He goes, "Oh man, those guys were so great." Because he does the jujitsu, Gracie jujitsu, and he loves it, and he's learning so much from you guys. And he worked out at the place in Jersey,
At Gracie, New Jersey.
Gracie, New Jersey, and he loved it there. And the professor, he met
David Adeve,
David Adeve, and he just raved about it. And
Dude, he did so well, and not blowing smoke at all. Like the things that are important to me, like being kind.
Yes.
And another thing, being tough.
Being a little competitive.
yeah,
Dante was tough. Dante is a gamer. Dante
Oh, he's a
came
gamer.
in there. He wanted to roll.
He is a gamer.
He
Bigger than I
he never
thought he'd
rolled
be.
much
Yeah.
before, but he was all into it, excited. He's a great kid.
Yeah, no,
great
thank
kid.
you.
Tremendous. And we're gonna take care of him. He could do anything he wants in the jiu-jitsu world.
my son is a gamer, and like you said, he's a good man.
That's the thing. Like he's obviously very kind. I know a lot of tough guys that aren't that
Yeah.
kind. I don't want anything to do with them. But I like a kind person who's also tough. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that was Dante.
That's
and
my
he had the
son.
willingness to learn. He was amazing.
And that's
Yeah.
my daughter Gabriella. If you got to meet her, where do you meet her?
Michigan, tough loss.
Michigan, tough loss on
Tough
Michigan.
loss.
Yeah, we both were watching the game. But she's musical theater, theater major, musical at Michigan. She's brilliant and great. And so my kids are great kids. They're good kids because why? Because my wife and I try to do the right thing and make them see that. People don't realize, you guys don't have children, but when you do, people go, what advice could you give me to raise a good kid? And I always go, be a good example. Your kid watches everything you do, everything. If you're mean to your wife, they'll be mean to their wife. If your wife's mean to you, that girl will be mean. That girl will grow up
Do you
just like
think
that.
having kids made you a better person then?
Yeah.
Because you had to be more cognizant of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
absolutely.
kind of forces you to grow up too. I've heard people say you're not like a real man until you've had kids.
Well, you're not. Could you be a real man without children? Of course you can. You could do other things with other people's kids. You could be a good person. But
Right.
when you have your own kids, it's like that child is there. When that little baby's got a mouth open, you got to feed him. What kind of man? What they say in The Godfather? A man who doesn't take care of his family is not a man.
No man at all.
You got a family. You got a wife. You got children. Oh, okay. You got to take care of this fucking family. That's a responsibility that you have to do, and that's it. Period. End of story.